As we approach the 110th anniversary of the apparitions of Our Lady of Fatima, the mystery surrounding the third secret remains as compelling as ever. The enigma surrounding these divine revelations continues to captivate the hearts and minds of believers, theologians, and scholars alike. For decades, questions about the meaning and implications of the third secret have sparked endless discussions, debates, and even controversy. As we look back on the history of Fatima, the central question once again arises: what exactly was revealed at Fatima, and what is its significance for the future of humanity? In a world beset by uncertainty, conflict, and turmoil, the words of Our Lady of Fatima continue to resonate, offering guidance, warning, and hope for the generations to come. Before anything else, write this decree in the comments: I manifest a miracle of abundance in my life. I am worthy. I accept and receive with gratitude all the blessings the universe has for me. If you want more hidden revelations like this, subscribe and turn on the bell. Don't miss anything. To understand the profound importance of the third secret, we must first revisit the remarkable events that took place in the small Portuguese village of Fatima in 1917. It was on May 13th, a serene day in the Cova da Iria fields, when three young shepherd children, Lucia dos Santos and her cousins, Francisco and Jacinta Marto, had an encounter that would change the course of history. At first, there was nothing out of the ordinary. The children were tending to their sheep when they were suddenly struck by an unexpected blinding light in the sky. Initially mistaking it for a lightning bolt, the children soon realized that no storm clouds were present, and the light was unlike anything they had ever seen. They looked on in amazement, only to witness an even more brilliant light materialize before them, heralding the appearance of a celestial figure. This figure, which Lucia later described as brighter than the sun, appeared above a small oak tree, emanating an otherworldly radiance that filled the surroundings with a sense of peace, reverence, and awe. Draped in a luminous white robe, with a rosary in hand, the figure stood before the children, offering a divine presence so powerful that it overwhelmed them with serenity rather than fear. In a calm yet firm voice, the figure instructed the children to return to the same spot on the 13th of each month for the next 6 months, promising to share essential messages that would not only influence their lives, but also impact the world in profound ways. These messages, centered on faith, prayer, and the future of humanity, would be revealed to the children gradually, leaving them with both a sense of purpose and a daunting responsibility. The children, deeply moved and awestruck by this encounter, promised to return, following the instructions of the divine figure. However, when they shared their miraculous experience with their families and the local community, they were met with skepticism, ridicule, and, in some cases, outright hostility. Many in the village dismissed the children's account as a mere fantasy, while others accused them of fabricating the story to draw attention. Despite the mockery and criticism, Lucia, Francisco, and Jacinta remained resolute in their belief, steadfastly returning to Cova da Iria each month, just as they had been instructed. With each apparition, the number of people who gathered to witness the divine event increased, and the small village of Fatima became a focal point for believers across Portugal and beyond. However, not everyone was pleased with the growing religious fervor surrounding the apparitions. Local authorities, including the mayor of Urem, grew increasingly concerned about the impact the apparitions were having on the local community. The mayor viewed the increasing gatherings of pilgrims as a potential threat, fearing that the religious fervor could stir up social unrest. In an attempt to quell the growing movement, the mayor took drastic measures. In August of 1917, the three children were detained and interrogated by the authorities, who sought to pressure them into recanting their testimony. Despite the intense pressure, the children remained firm in their faith, refusing to deny the events they had experienced. Their unwavering courage in the face of adversity not only demonstrated their deep spiritual conviction, but also solidified their place as key figures in the unfolding story of Fatima. The apparitions reached their climactic moment on October 13, 1917, in what would become known as the Miracle of the Sun. On that day, an estimated 70,000 people gathered in the fields of Cova da Iria, braving the heavy rain in anticipation of another apparition. As they waited, the skies suddenly cleared and the sun, which had been obscured by dark clouds, became visible. What followed defied all natural explanation. The sun appeared to spin, change colors, and zigzag across the sky. Eyewitnesses, including journalists, scientists, and skeptics, later attested to the inexplicable nature of the event. The spectacle was so extraordinary that it left many in awe, and for many, it was the final, undeniable proof that the apparitions were truly of divine origin. This miraculous event solidified Fatima as a place of immense spiritual significance, and the messages conveyed by Our Lady of Fatima were firmly established in the hearts and minds of millions of believers around the world. The messages given by Our Lady of Fatima were not merely confined to the events of 1917, nor were they meant to be understood in isolation. The messages were deeply prophetic, touching upon the challenges and trials that would face the world in the years to come. One of the most significant aspects of the Fatima revelations is the third secret, a part of the message that remained sealed and hidden for many years. The contents of the third secret were kept secret by the Vatican until the year 2000, sparking widespread curiosity, speculation, and even conspiracy theories. Many believed that the third secret contained a powerful and ominous warning, perhaps about the future of the Church or the world. When the third secret was finally revealed, the contents were met with mixed reactions. The Vatican released the full text, which described a vision of a bishop in white who was struck down by bullets and other forms of violence while walking among a group of martyrs. Many interpreted this as a reference to the attempted assassination of Pope John Paul II in 1981, while others believed it symbolized the suffering and persecution that the Church would endure in the future. The message, however, is deeply symbolic, and its true meaning has remained open to interpretation. In the years since the release of the third secret, many have continued to ask, what does it mean for the future of the Church and the world? Some believe that the third secret points to the dangers of secularism, materialism, and the erosion of faith, warning of a time when the Church would face intense persecution and struggle to maintain its spiritual authority. Others see the message as a call to prayer and repentance, urging the faithful to remain steadfast in their devotion to God and to uphold the teachings of the Church in the face of societal challenges. Pope Francis, in his reflections on the significance of Fatima, has emphasized the continuing relevance of the messages conveyed by Our Lady. He has spoken of the importance of prayer, especially the Rosary, in strengthening the faith of Catholics and guiding them through difficult times. He has also underscored the need for peace and reconciliation in a world torn apart by conflict and division. For Pope Francis, the messages of Fatima offer a timeless reminder of the importance of humility, devotion, and compassion in the face of the trials and tribulations of the modern world. As the world continues to grapple with issues such as climate change, political instability, and the growing divide between rich and poor, the messages of Fatima offer both hope and a call to action. The third secret, in particular, serves as a reminder that the Church must remain vigilant, steadfast in its mission to protect the sanctity of life, promote social justice, and foster peace. While the exact meaning of the third secret may continue to be debated, its message remains as relevant as ever. The words of Our Lady of Fatima, given over a century ago, continue to speak to the hearts of believers around the world, offering a guiding light for those seeking direction in an increasingly uncertain world. If you've made it this far, tell me in the comments what you think about this prophecy. I'll reply to the best comments. As we approach the 110th anniversary of the apparitions, it is clear that the mystery of Fatima is far from resolved. The third secret continues to captivate the imagination of the faithful, while the messages of Our Lady continue to inspire prayer, reflection, and action. Whether viewed as a warning or a call to prayer, the messages of Fatima offer hope for a brighter future, grounded in faith, devotion, and the enduring love of God. As we look ahead to the next century of Fatima's legacy, the words of Our Lady will undoubtedly continue to guide and inspire generations to come. Among the messages imparted to the 3 children at Fatima, there were 3 distinct secrets, each containing prophetic revelations about the future of humanity. These secrets were intended to guide the faithful, warn of coming trials, and offer a path of repentance and faith. The first 2 secrets were made public in 1941, describing vivid, haunting visions that painted a grim picture of humanity's future if the world did not turn back to God. The first secret depicted a vision of hell, where the souls of sinners were eternally tormented, while the second secret called for repentance and warned of the devastation that would befall the world if people did not heed the divine message. The third secret, however, remained a closely guarded mystery, fueling decades of speculation and anticipation among the faithful, scholars, and conspiracy theorists alike. Despite being the most eagerly awaited of the secrets, it was not until the year 2000 that the Vatican finally disclosed the contents of the third secret. The Vatican's release of the third secret was a significant moment in the history of the Fatima apparitions, as it marked the end of decades of secrecy. According to the official account, the third secret contained a vision that was both chilling and symbolic. The vision depicted a bishop dressed in white, walking through a devastated city, stepping over the bodies of martyrs before being struck down by bullets and arrows. Surrounding him were priests, religious figures, and lay people who shared his fate, while angels above collected the blood of the fallen. This powerful image was, the Vatican explained, a symbolic representation of the persecution of the Church throughout history. It was interpreted as a vision of the suffering and martyrdom that the Church would endure, culminating in the attempted assassination of Pope John Paul II on May 13, 1981, exactly 64 years after the first apparition at Fatima. For many, the connection between the attempted assassination of Pope John Paul II and the third secret of Fatima was undeniable. The Pope himself firmly believed that the intervention of Our Lady of Fatima had saved his life. He survived the assassination attempt despite being critically wounded, and he later publicly expressed his gratitude to the Virgin Mary for protecting him. In a deeply symbolic gesture, Pope John Paul II traveled to Fatima the following year to personally offer his thanks. There, he placed the bullet that had nearly killed him into the crown of the statue of Our Lady of Fatima, where it miraculously fit perfectly. This act reinforced the belief among many Catholics that the third secret was, in fact, a warning about the trials and tribulations that the Church and its leaders would face, with the Pope's life being a direct example of the dangers forewarned by the apparition. Despite the Vatican's official interpretation of the third secret, questions and doubts persist. Some believe that the released portion of the third secret was merely a fragment of a larger, more complex message, one that may contain further prophecies yet to be disclosed. Many feel that the full content of the third secret might involve more dire warnings about global catastrophes, moral decay, or even apocalyptic events. There is speculation that the full revelation contains further details about the fate of humanity, beyond the specific context of the Church's persecution. The cryptic nature of the third secret, combined with the centuries-old tradition of secrecy surrounding it, has led some to wonder whether there are more profound revelations hidden within the message, waiting for the right time to be unveiled. In recent years, Pope Francis has reflected on the significance of Fatima's messages and their continuing relevance in the modern world. The Pope has acknowledged that the messages of Fatima, particularly the call to prayer, repentance, and conversion, remain as crucial today as they were when they were first given in 1917. In the face of ongoing global conflicts, social unrest, and political divisions, Pope Francis has called on the faithful to heed the lessons of Fatima. He has emphasized the importance of prayer, especially the recitation of the Rosary, as a means of strengthening faith and seeking divine protection. The message of Fatima, as interpreted by Pope Francis, is one of hope and renewal, a reminder that through prayer and repentance, humanity can overcome the challenges that threaten peace and spiritual well-being. The message of Fatima also highlights the importance of conversion and repentance, not just as a historical call to action, but as an ongoing imperative for each generation. The world, Pope Francis has said, stands at a crossroads, much like it did in 1917, and the choices made today will shape the future for generations to come. The call to return to God, to seek spiritual renewal, and to live according to the principles of faith and morality is as urgent now as it was during the turbulent times of World War I and the rise of communism. The third secret of Fatima, though cryptic and symbolic, offers a timeless message: the need for repentance, the importance of unwavering faith, and the recognition of the spiritual battle between good and evil. One of the most striking aspects of the Fatima messages is the repeated call to prayer, particularly the daily recitation of the Rosary. Our Lady of Fatima emphasized the Rosary as a powerful tool for spiritual protection and intercession, urging the faithful to pray for peace, conversion, and the salvation of souls. In a world that is increasingly secular and materialistic, the act of prayer becomes even more essential. The Rosary, with its rhythm and meditative nature, offers a means of connecting with the divine and drawing closer to God. For many believers, it is a source of solace and strength in times of personal or global crisis. The message of repentance is also central to the Fatima revelations. Our Lady warned that without repentance and a return to God, humanity would face grave consequences. The third secret, with its imagery of martyrs and the suffering of the Church, speaks to the dire need for conversion, not just for individuals, but for societies as a whole. The world today, facing political corruption, moral relativism, and growing divisions, is a reminder that the message of Fatima remains as relevant as ever. Humanity is still called to turn away from sin and toward God, to embrace the gospel and live out its teachings in a world that desperately needs healing. The third secret of Fatima has continued to inspire faith, curiosity, and devotion among the faithful. While some accept the Vatican's explanation that the secret is a warning about the persecution of the Church, others believe that further revelations remain hidden. The symbolic nature of the vision, with its imagery of martyrs, angels, and divine intervention, continues to spark debates about its true meaning. Some speculate that the third secret may contain prophetic warnings about the future, including the rise of global conflicts, environmental disasters, or the spiritual collapse of society. Regardless of the interpretations, the core message of the third secret remains clear: the need for prayer, repentance, and unwavering faith in the face of challenges. As the anniversary of the Fatima apparitions approaches, many believers are drawn once again to reflect on the significance of the messages given by Our Lady. Whether viewed as a warning about the fate of the Church or as a call to spiritual renewal for the entire world, the messages of Fatima continue to hold profound relevance today. In an age of uncertainty and division, the call to prayer, repentance, and conversion is more crucial than ever. The third secret, though shrouded in mystery, offers timeless lessons for humanity, urging individuals and communities alike to seek divine mercy, embrace the teachings of Christ, and work together to build a more just and peaceful world. As the faithful continue to reflect on the messages of Fatima, they are reminded of the spiritual battle that continues to unfold in the world. The choice to heed the call to prayer, repentance, and conversion is a decision that must be made by each individual, but it is also a collective call to action for humanity as a whole. The third secret of Fatima remains a profound reminder of the importance of faith, hope, and love in the face of adversity, and its messages will undoubtedly continue to resonate for generations to come. The question that remains is not only what was revealed in the third secret, but how the world will respond to the divine invitation that was given over a century ago. Now that you know this, I'll leave you with this video where we reveal another shocking secret. Click here before it's too late.